There's not a more monetizable value-add platform than YouTube. I've worked with a person with 50 million followers on TikTok. They're not even clearing 6 figures.
So I need 51 million.
It's the number one way that people make decisions in their purchases is they go look for video content. They will quicker go to a social platform to learn about a business than they will the actual website. You know what the ROI is? Is that 3 years down the road, you're gonna be thanking yourself that you had content because you're gonna realize that 3 years down the road, you're like, we didn't. And the company, our competitor, is kicking our butt. If YouTube is not part of your business, your personal brand, you as a celebrity, like it's a fool's errand to not be there.
If you're a business, you're looking to get started in YouTube, what's the first step?
So I messaged you on LinkedIn.
And you were like, hey, great podcast. You have what it takes. And you said something like, I work with creators, like, keep doing what you're doing.
Yep.
I was like, awesome. Like then, and sometimes, dude, that's all it takes to just motivate somebody. So it was huge for me because it's being a creator's lonely.
Yes.
Posting on YouTube's lonely. No one in my friend group knew anything about YouTube. Right. Like my wife would try to be supportive, but I'd be like, hey, I'm trying this new thumbnail template. She'd be like, is that English? Like, I don't know what that means.
Right, I have thumbnails, you know?
Right, you're like, no, I don't know what that is.
You want to put these on?
So I click on your profile and it says, you know, where the state or the city that you live. And I was like, that's 5 minutes for me. Right. That's literally 5 minutes for me.
We actually live.
Yeah, we live 5
minutes.
Right. We live, and I just messaged you back like, bro, like, and it said YouTube strategist for a different company.
Yep.
And I was like, dude, that's crazy. Like, so I messaged you back, I'm like, bro, can we meet for coffee? So we meet for coffee at this absolute butthole coffee place. That was hot water with a little bit of mud in it.
I was so embarrassed.
Because you suggested it.
I suggested because it was close. And as you've learned,
you are geographically challenged.
I don't like going far.
You don't even know if we're north, south, east, or west right now.
Right. Yeah. Don't test me right now because I actually don't know. I think we're west-ish.
In the state that you grew up, by the way.
Yeah,
I just wanted everyone to know that.
That's fine. Listen, I've committed to the remote culture of I don't know where I am.
That's okay.
I do know when I go out to LA, it's that a ways, right? So that's, I think, relatively. I don't even know which way we're facing right now. I suggested it because I was like, that's what's close. They had a decent cold brew, whatever, foam thing.
Yeah.
But I hadn't tried their hot coffee, and it was... I don't know where you guys are looking as you watch this episode. I can understate some of the worse than diner coffee.
Yeah.
Bad.
Oh, no.
And they are a coffee shop, by the way.
Right. I actually emailed them after and offered to buy them.
Did you really?
Yes.
How'd that go?
They didn't respond. But I was just like, I don't think you're going to be open for another year.
They are surprisingly.
I know, they're still around.
But they do all the pastries and smoothies and crap.
Yeah, they're not a coffee shop. They're a bakery.
Flavy Girl
Flavor
Flav non-coffee drinks.
That's a great name for a bakery.
Flavor
Flav.
I have a whole rant on bakeries that we won't even get into right now.
So we're gonna finish the story.
Where were we? Pretty bad.
So we met for coffee. We connected really well. We went to the same college, but we didn't really know each other in college.
Right.
And in that conversation, I pushed you to make a jump.
Yes.
To the company you are at now.
Yes.
You made the jump, and it caused probably more stress in your life than anything, but it's also turned out to be unbelievably successful. Then as a result, you invited me into a company maybe a year later to take part in that, and that was a great learning experience. We built a really cool thing, processes, and then you and I just sold equity back to our investor. Because your company took over, my company has been blowing up, and it just made sense for us to just focus on that. We recorded that podcast 2 years ago, year and a half ago, 2 years ago.
But it's like 2 years ago at this point.
Yeah, I had you on, talk about YouTube, and then, man, now we're here.
Now you look at this place. It's
crazy.
It's an incredible studio, but the story is we're just getting started.
Yeah.
But to see the growth of 2 years being like, because a lot of people think we knew each other prior, but we did not know each other.
No.
And then for it to be like we had similar interests, and then we thought, oh, this new little venture we're doing together, that's the thing.
That's the thing.
But then our individual businesses just cranked, just took off, which is a huge blessing. And so to sit here 2 years, I'm like, first off, I'm a big believer, like, hey, pat yourself on the back. That's awesome. But I'm also like, shoot, what's going to happen in the next 2 years after we shoot the next episode on our yacht?
Yeah.
But no, it's a cool, but like it's a huge, you know, message people on LinkedIn with genuine like I didn't ask anything of you when I messaged you.
No.
I was just like, I just felt like, man, I would want to be encouraged if I was doing something at a high level. Like, because you were, for what people were doing in the space at that point. No, did you have a ton of listeners at that point? Probably not. Not like you do now. But, I mean, sorry, I'm laughing because I know you're going to come back and be like, not that many listeners. But you do. You're well known in Michigan. You're probably the #1 business podcast in Michigan, and it's still growing, right? But legitimately, you're well known in this area. Like I've met 20,000 people. Like, oh, I know Dillon. He's got the right.
He's got that pot belly dad bod.
You see YouTube numbers, you think, that's not that. I'm like, no, it's when you talk about local presence, it's massive. But at that time, it was just saying, hey, man, keep going because people quit.
Yep.
And now you have this. This is pretty sweet.
Yeah, and if you would have said 2 years ago, hey, one of these days, you're going to be in a shared space with Herman Moore from her Detroit Lion grade. Right. You're going to have the nicest podcast studio in Metro Detroit.
Yep, for sure.
You're going to have a podcast business.
Yep.
Working with the largest law firm in Michigan.
Yep.
And then you are working with the biggest brands in the world.
Right.
We'd been like, okay. Yeah, all right, dude.
It's like, I'll go back to my weed business.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Your teeth are literally going to fall out from the amount of drugs you're doing by telling me that story. I'm reminded because, you know, I sent you that book that I was thinking about writing at like the start of it. It was like super dark and depressing.
Yeah, it was a dreary first read, but you need to be at the pits.
Right. You know, throughout the lens of everything, right? You were kind of stagnated at your previous company. You didn't really have any forward momentum. You're kind of like, I don't really know what's next. You maybe had an offer to work with a YouTuber, and then you didn't get that. Someone else beat you for that. Right. And it's kind of
crazy decision by him, by the way.
Right. Yeah.
Not to be that guy.
Not to be that guy. But then you were bummed because you were like, man, that would have been awesome.
Yeah.
But you never would have gotten the invite to help build Astra.
Right.
Me, had the insurance background. We had a great 2018-19. I thought this was like the thing. COVID hit us and we never recovered.
Right.
And it was 5 years of just absolute hell every month. Like, I don't know if I'm going to make payroll. This is fun. Let's do this for the next 5 years. And then we started a video editing company, and we both thought that this was going to be like, because at that time with Astra, you guys were balls to the wall, no help. You were like pulling 14-hour days. Right. You were tapped. I mean, you were tapped.
Yeah.
And so we're like, maybe this is the key for both of us, right? I still remember where I was when I got the call when you invited me into the video editing company. I was in Chelsea, Michigan, finishing an Aflac enrollment that I sat there for 5 hours and didn't write one policy. Drove an hour there.
It's crazy.
Didn't write one policy.
Was it just stayed in it?
You know, you sit there and like every company's different. Sometimes they make their employees see you one-on-one and you get to consult. Other times they're like, hey, if an employee wants to come talk to you. So you sit there in a break room and no one comes talk to you.
That. Right.
So I was super, obviously, like depressed. Probably was for about 5 years. Honestly, looking back on it. Big issues.
You do look healthier.
Yeah, I do feel better. And then you called me. You're like, hey, man, just got off the call with this guy. Don't really know what this looks like, but I just know I want you involved. Yep. Like, just like you have a sales background, like whatever. And I just remember hanging up like, what the heck?
Yeah.
What do I know about the media space? Like, why? Like, but that phone call and you inviting me into the company and then us having a very successful exit.
So successful. Don't spend it all in one place.
But that whole journey showed me that I could do something other than insurance. Yep. And actually like for the bigger picture, we had a client. We built ecosystems.
No, we for the time, because the truth,
time we had,
for the unearthing what took place was I was at a place where I was maxed out in effort, but we weren't turning the corner quite at Astra yet.
Yep.
And thankfully that has changed. So I was like, maybe I, keep a couple irons in the fire. I loved what I was doing. I had no plans of leaving Astra at all, but it was like, let's see what happens. And we actually, those first couple months we're tracking, and then
I remember when we were at that event together. We were in Arizona. You were helping me film, and you were just like, you had to take a break to go hop on a call. And I remember you just like, dude, January is going to be insane.
Yep.
You're like, things are like, this is going to be wild.
It sense the wave.
Yeah.
It was like, it's coming.
And it came.
Yeah.
Now you have like 30 employees and
yeah,
like you guys are
we're
growing.
At like 32, 33 employees now.
It's scary how much I know about your business.
Yeah, you know
I listen very
about
well.
Well,
by
we
the way.
do talk.
Yeah, but I like
lot.
intake information. People think I don't listen because I'm like this, but I retain people I care about.
No, if you don't know maybe Dillon personally, it's actually, so I have a horrendous memory, as he knows. I can't even tell you what I did probably yesterday.
Which is surprising compared to the big brain you have.
Right. Well, I think you understand. I'm hyper focused on very specific things. Everything else, it's like mud. It's just nothing. Mm-hmm. And then I have a insane sports retainment for no reason.
Good.
Helpful, fun for, remembering how much heartbreak I have in sports. That's irrelevant. So I don't know what the point was there, but you do know a lot about business. He has an incredible memory, which is, by the way, great for what he does in the industry and great for connections.
It does help.
But that was a hard part was Astra ramped up, and we got to a point where I was like, I remember, I think we sat down and talked. I was like, I actually can't do this business. Like, it was a hard reality, but I was like, what I have to do for this company, I can't give it anywhere else.
Yeah.
And so once we got there, though, and we've made that decision, it's been amazing because you were like, I have an idea. And I said, do it on your own. Yeah. do not do it with me. Do it on your own. And
it was, and here
boom!
we go. Crazy, dude. Crazy. And it's I was talking about this yesterday on the podcast. When you're going through the valleys, you never, this is what drives me nuts when people are like, hey, there's always light at the end of the tunnel. But when you're actually going through a valley,
you don't know
you
that.
don't see it. Like, you just don't see it. Like, people are like, oh man, when I was at my lowest, I knew that there was gonna, like, then you weren't at your lowest.
Right.
Like,
right.
At your lowest,
right.
There's no light at the end of the tunnel.
Right.
Like you're like, I don't see a way that this is all going to work. And that's where faith comes in. It's where, like, Lord, like, I don't see it, and I need to have trust in it. And then, like, I've had health battles the past year, and it's just, but it's one of those things where when I look back, and this must be how God feels, right? Because He sees the whole tapestry of our lives.
Yes.
And He's like, you idiot, just it's good, like just trust me.
Hang in there.
Hang in there. And I look back through your journey, through my journey.
Yeah.
The lessons, like, we would have not been prepared to do what we're doing now if those situations would have happened any other way.
Yep.
And you hear older people talk about their lives like that, and you're kind of like, yeah, okay. But then when it happens to you, you're like, man, I really wish we could have built a massively successful business together.
Right.
But then you wouldn't have been able to build what you're doing. I wouldn't be able to build what I'm doing. And that was, for me at least, a platform to even prove that I could do something in the media space, which was huge. Right. And that's sometimes how you do just need to stick with it. And you just need to know there is light at the end of the tunnel.
Yep.
And the question is, like, it's not always failure. It's what are you going to learn from that to be better? Yeah,
I don't have anything super eloquent about, because I struggle with you just grind. But like, there's very much that, and it's all rampant in the YouTube space. And similar to you, it's like, there's actually no guarantee of a light at the end of the tunnel. I'm just a firm believer, and it's actually a biblical principle. It's that what you're doing behind closed doors you will reap what you sow. It's in Galatians 6, which that's more about actual biblical community. Like, you reap the harvest that you sow, right? But I actually, in work, I just believed all my life. I was like, if I, when no one is looking, am putting forth the effort to get to this place, maybe it's not like ultra wealth, and that necessarily shouldn't be the goal. I was like, I just know deep down it will sow a reward of something. Don't know what it is. And I would argue we're still sowing the seed. Like, I'm reaping some of the benefits of that hard work. But like, I would argue you in your industry, sales in particular, like, all those years of working, getting told no, having these side interests and hobbies, you're starting to see it's like a bud. I would argue it's a bud, because I don't, personally, the way I operate, and Candy hates when I say this, like, I always tell myself, like, every morning, like, you haven't done anything yet. That's a little bit sadistic mentality. The point, though, is like, I see the buds, I see the little sprouts of plants, but I'm like, We're just getting started.
Yep.
But that's why I'm like, it's not light in the tunnel. It's like I just firmly believed, and you firmly believed. I think, and I'm not saying you should take advice from me, but I'm like, what you did behind closed doors. I'm like, I didn't sit down and play video games. I'll be completely honest. You know my life. Like, I actually probably should do better at having hobbies. But I'm a psycho behind closed doors. I didn't sacrifice family or church. Still went. I play games with my kids. Like, we'll go outside, play catch. You know, I'll give them 5 minutes. Kidding.
This week.
But I just was like, you right. No, I see them every other weekend. It's fine.
It's great.
So, no, I don't know. And I'm realizing as I hire younger people, that's not as common a trait anymore.
Yeah.
Younger. We're not
it's
that
just
old.
being, one of our core values is be steward of the small things.
Yep. Ooh, that's
one
good.
of our core values.
Yeah. Is that from your US session?
No, that's from Canon. That's what Canon brought into that.
I love that.
Be steward of the small things.
I might steal that.
Go ahead. Yeah, it's one of our core values.
That is great.
And
we should share core values. We
okay.
should. That's
yeah.
No. Yes.
Yeah.
No. Yes.
I need to, because we just reworked.
Because you just reworked yours. Because I only have 2. Okay. So mine are.
Tell me your core values.
One of the biggest impactful books I'd argue for both of us in building businesses has been Traction, and they set off a whole, hey,
Traction by Gino Wickman.
You need to have core values, and I guess one of the main things I'm learning from hiring, which you're starting to hire as well, is that I like setting those core values in front of them from the get-go. It's setting the expectation of like, this is the type of person we're going to have here.
Me and Gino, by the way.
That's awesome. That is actually crazy. He's the guy who wrote the book, by the way.
Yeah. Sorry, go ahead.
And you hear the word core values, and it sounds like a typical business hullabaloo, who cares? Yeah. But I will tell you right now that I have hired where they didn't show those signs and didn't buy into those core values, and they are no longer with Astra. Right? And then I've hired people who exemplify those core values, and they are freaking rock stars.
Yep.
And so it's 2. It's very simple, right? And it doesn't mean there's not other elements of a great employee, but the 2 things are, first, great work consistently.
Yep.
That sounds dumb, but I've actually learned that it makes a big difference. Is that I don't need Hercules or Superman. Because I call it spurts of excellence. Yeah, great. 3 hours of absolute dog mode, and then 5 hours I have an absolutely useless employee. Like, no, show up. Show out
consistently.
Go home.
Work. Yep.
I don't need 18 hours on Monday. I need a great 8 hours. And if you do that throughout the week, you're going to find that A, you're not burnt out. B, you understand work-life balance. And then C, I can count on you to not miss. And then that comes to the second one is own it. This is also overwhelmingly simple, but like I cannot stand. You're going to mess up. For early days of Astra, we had a great opportunity with a CEO of a massive company. I sent him the wrong audit for someone else. Hilariously stupid mistake for someone like me who's been like so stupid, did not get that business. Own it, learn from it, get better.
Yep.
But if you're always finding a reason for why it happened, like, oh, because of this, or I was tired, or you're just never going to get better. And listen, you're not going to get fired for a mistake, but if you never own what you're doing, you're never going to improve. You will stay either a lame duck that does nothing, or you're just going to lose your job, because it's like the ones who improve are like, hey, I messed up. I am going to learn and grow. And I know I have one employee. You know him because I stole him from you. You weren't at a point to have him.
I couldn't do it.
You weren't at a point to have
I
him.
couldn't do it.
3 weeks in, stupid error. Bad. Sat with him, was like, yo, this can't happen. Owned it. He is by far maybe my best channel manager. Incredible. Dog. But that's because he grew and learned.
Yep.
And by the way, he's owning his job in a way where he's doing things I'm not telling him to do, and is like
It is amazing when you own it.
It's crazy.
Because a lot of times we feel like if we don't own it and we figure out how to blame someone else, it's going to be better for us. But actually, it's the exact opposite. When you own it, you admit you made a mistake, you learn from it, you just don't do it again.
Yep.
That's you just work your way up. Companies get bigger, and that's where trust comes in.
Because you're able to acknowledge that something went wrong and it was on you. And that you don't want that to be a repeat pattern, but it is something you can learn from. But I want to hear yours. I assume you have maybe a touch more than I even do.
I have 4. You know, in EOS, they teach you to have 3 to 7. So we have 4 right now. So core value number 1 is faithful stewardship in the small things. We just talked about that.
I love that.
Number 2 is take accountability. Number 3 is help the next man up. So one of the things,
explain that one a little bit more?
So one of the things that was happening was like, right, so we have 4 main silos in our company right now. Sales and marketing is a silo, ops are a silo, client success, and finance, right? 4 kind of classic, but those are the
You don't
4.
usually hear people define them as silos.
Right. Yeah, those are like silos, and then that's our, so in EOS or most companies have hierarchy charts.
Yep.
We don't do that. We have an accountability chart.
Okay.
So it's not who has the title, it's who's accountable. And that's what they teach in EOS. So we just made an accountability chart.
Yep.
And so let's say Cannon, who's in charge of ops, right? He's accountable for ops, and then Tom's in charge of client success, right? But Tom realizes that Cannon is struggling on some fulfillment because there's a massive workload.
Right.
So Tom shouldn't sit there in charge of his silo and say, hey, I see that this video is not being posted, or I see that this is happening in Slack. It's, hey, I'm caught up with my work. Hey, what needs to happen so you can be successful here?
Right.
So you have your accountabilities. Basically, accountability chart doesn't mean that, and if you're charging one of the silos, doesn't mean you have to do everything. Yep. It's just the buck stops there on if it didn't get done.
Yep.
Right? And so Tom could then say, hey, I'm really cooking on client success and studio ops right now. Like, we're good.
Right.
Cannon, like I note, and he did this yesterday. Like, shout out to Tom. Like, he noticed that he went to one of our clients' chats and realized that there wasn't a video that was supposed to be there, and he went across and said, hey, how can I help? Do you guys need any help?
Yeah.
So help the next man up is a way that we're so good at being like, I'm a fulfillment person. Yep. I do podcast management. That's all I do.
Right.
But what we're teaching is like, you do that and you do that excellently.
Yep.
And then you breathe up and you say, all right, now how can I help?
Right.
Help the next man up.
Right.
If you see someone struggling, they'll just be like, well, they're just not in the right seat, I guess. Right? It's, hey, how can I help you be better across your accountability chart?
Right.
So help the next man up. Was that a good explanation?
I love that.
Okay.
Did you want me to applaud? Would that help?
Please. Thank you.
It's a very sporty one too.
Help. Yeah.
I like that.
Last one is something I've said on my show, and there's a reason we made it a core value, but it's smart people ask dumb questions, in parentheses, clarity over confusion.
Yep. Love that.
Like, if you assume, you don't assume in our company. Assumptions mean that mistakes are right around the corner.
Yep.
If you're unsure, you can ask me stupid question after stupid question after stupid question, and there's no such thing as a stupid question. But even if you're like seem dumb,
I'd much rather
you seem like an idiot because you ask 50 questions, but then you have very clear plans and directions on what needs to happen versus being like, well, I just thought this was the best play.
Yes.
It's like, well, you thought wrong and we lost an account.
Yep.
So clarity over confusion. Smart people ask dumb questions is just the tagline that I've had forever, and I just thought it would be a fun way to incorporate that. And so I tell the team all the time, it's like, if you're unsure, ask. But when you tell me that you are clear on something,
you better rock and roll.
You better be clear.
Right. You better nail it.
And that's been something we've really been working on and struggling through. And then this is the hard part, and teams and leaders, you're gonna understand this. Sometimes your employee thinks that they understand.
Right.
But they don't.
Right.
What do you do with that? So then as a leader, what I'm learning to do in that situation is having them regurgitate back.
Yep.
So, okay, hey, you understand? Tell me what you're supposed to do. Versus being like, hey, you got it? Yeah, I got it. Okay, good. All right, next. It's tell me exactly what you're gonna do. Yep. Then you show seeds of trust. You show up, trust is built, trust is built, trust is built, trust is built. And then eventually you don't have to do that.
Yep.
But we're learning that right now.
It's one of the things we actually are training our team to do, particularly channel managers, is, and I've been reading, I don't remember what the book's called, Start. It's a negotiation book, but there's a principle there that I really love, which is one of the best ways to make sure that you are, like, there's alignment between you and the client, is to take all that they've said and to do two things, which will equal a summary, right? Which is label it, label what they've said, like think about a keyword outline, or say, okay, you are saying this, paraphrase their word vomit into a succinct, like, okay, this thing, you have equaled a summary, and then if they say that's right, or something of that semblance, you have succeeded in clarity. But what a lot of is we think we're actively listen, but the word soup becomes so big that you're like, I actually can't eat it all.
Yep.
And then you walk away, you're like, but I transcribed the meeting, there's notes. And you're like, I don't know what this is.
Yep.
So it's actually one of the things that, to your core values point, is that clarity does require you to be able to mirror it back, say, hey, I've labeled, here's my paraphrase, because paraphrasing means I've understood the concepts, I've made it, and that equals a clarity, a summary of clarity.
Yep. And there's not talked about enough, but the onus is on the person giving the direction to also be clear.
Yes.
It's really easy to be like, well, you didn't understand this. Like, well, you talked for 30 minutes and gave me 50 tasks. It's like, no wonder we didn't understand what you're doing.
You didn't get all that?
You're right. It's like, when we were at EOS conference, Gino was talking about being open and honest, and shout out Ken Bogard, who has a book called No Honesty, which is a really great read. But for it to work, for teams to work, you need to be open and honest. And what that means is we're really good at being honest with people. Right? Like, you suck. Honesty.
Yeah, you're a very tough person.
Which I probably should be more honest. You're very good at being honest. And
what's that supposed to mean?
You know exactly what that means. But in general, it's easier to say how you tell people how you feel than accept. But open is the equal ability to be like, I'm going to be honest with you. Hey, you dropped the ball. And then being able to be open back.
Receive.
And then when they say, I got to be honest, your instructions just don't make sense to me. You need to be able to take that and be like, okay, now what do I do with that information? Process it and respond accordingly.
Them. No problem.
Fire them. It's like, it's their fault for acting up.
Incorrect.
I'll be open to receive the.
I am open to hear your thoughts.
You on the way out the door.
That's not.
That's not advice. But
don't do that.
So I would encourage you, if you're a team, like, it's really easy to be like, these idiots. But if you're not willing to be open back, and the way that you set that as a president in your company is you have to model it. And now, again, it's not like anything goes and you're like, like, the person could be wrong. You can be open and receive and be like, hey, you're actually just
respectfully
wrong. You're wrong.
No.
Right. But I do think it's in order for it to work, in order for communication to be clear, you have to be, and I'm bad at being on it. Like, you're
a nice person.
I sugarcoat a lot. And that's what Gino Wickman was saying at EOS, the guy that wrote Traction. He's just like, people, because he's a very, like, borderline psychopathic, like, no empathy, like, whatever. He's like,
I don't even resonate.
Because people, you would have loved the keynote. He's like, people always get mad at me because, like, they're like, well, Gino, what about kindness? Right? What about kindness, right? And he's like, is it kind for me to make you feel like you're doing your job even though you're not doing your job?
Right.
And then I fire you because I was never clear on the dissatisfaction from my end.
Right.
He's like, that doesn't seem kind to me.
Right.
Or in coaching sessions that he does with clients, this client is going belly up and they're about ready to die. Kindness is not me.
Right.
Okay, guys, well, I know we didn't really hit our numbers this corner, but at least we tried hard. He's like, no, we're failing.
Right.
You guys suck.
Right.
You guys are terrible. Be better. And it doesn't sound nice, but then when you actually look at
spirit animal,
you're like, yeah, you would love Gino.
Like, I've never met someone more like me.
There's still a way that you can do it and be kind, but kindness is being fully honest and being like, this is the problem,
right?
But then also being willing to open and take feedback as well. Right. And so that's something that I'm working on too when I talk with my team, because I love my team, and it's like I don't like people. I don't like making people sad, right? I like making people laugh, right?
Yeah.
That's
I know. It's we're like yin and yang to some extent.
Right. You enjoy crushing people's spirits.
I don't know if I saw that. So I would argue that I have the mentality of honesty is going to get you to the best place. If I actually care about you, I need to point you in that direction. I just don't temper it as well as I could.
Yes.
Is that a fair statement?
That's a fair statement. But you've gotten better.
I've gotten better, but I will, blatantly say this is unacceptable.
Yeah.
And I have called things like, this is like piss poor. Like I don't even know what I'm looking at here. Yeah. I've just learned to deliver that in a way that doesn't, because I do think kindness does require I'm not trying to tear down that person.
Yep.
And
especially in a public, embarrassing setting. But I think private conversations are where you could be like, hey, like, this can't happen. Right. And then also for like people, like, if I had a board or whatever, and they'd be pouring into me like, Dillon, like, what's going on with your company? Like, this can't, right? And it's the same
We're held to that standard too.
Right. So anyway, that's our core values. That's your core values. If you don't have core values, you should have core values. As we kind of do this.
We went around.
That was good.
I was curious though, because I was like, you had just gone through this whole process. So I was like, what are those?
And they're important.
Every interview I start with them.
Yeah.
Because I've learned,
I like the great work consistently. Funny enough, this morning I sent a voice message to our ops channel in Slack, which is everybody in the company. And I said, I was on the drive here, I said, hey guys, I want to encourage you to wake up this morning and do excellent work.
Yep.
Like every post, every video, every copy, like wake up today and say, I'm going to do excellent work for 313, because that's how we become the #1 B2B podcast agency in the world.
Right.
We don't do that by doing mediocre work.
Right.
And so just like what you said, like we haven't made it yet, and I feel like I haven't done anything yet. That's the type of model that I'm trying to instill in the team. It's like, okay, cool, we're kind of blowing up and we're kind of getting clients, and it's really easy to start kind of letting things slide.
It's easy to feel yourself. It's easy.
Yep.
And it actually, it's my greatest fear is that any semblance of like, oh, I've achieved, then you slow down. I'm like, no. And the great work consistently came from a place of like, we had these shared experiences with some people we've worked with where I'm like, there's moments where they really leaned in and they did a great job at this one specific example. And they'll use that example of like, remember this one time where I went over and beyond? I'm like, yes, but I need you to show up for the week.
Yeah, you're like, that was 3 months ago.
Right, it's like, great, you stayed up to 10 p.m. Thanks. How about you just show up the whole week and we wouldn't have had this issue?
Or better yet, you wouldn't have had to stay up to 10 a.m. if you were working consistently.
Right.
I think that's in the grind culture in the world. And I was guilty of that. Like in the insurance space, I'm actually at the point in my life right now, like I don't actually think I could work harder. Like there's not a spare moment.
Same.
Yeah, you're like, I've matured, but I remember in my 20s, I'd be like, oh, I'm grinding. It's like, dude, you pooped for 2 hours. It was on Instagram.
Right.
You're like, now I'm taking calls on the toilet.
You better not with me.
Oh, I have before multiple times. There's this really beautiful thing called mute button.
Mute, baby.
You're like, 1 second. And so there's a time where I thought I was grinding. And grinding doesn't mean you work for 12 hours or you think you're working for 12 hours.
Maybe those early days, it is somewhat like that.
Well, wait. But what I was saying is like, I wasn't actually working for 12 hours.
Right.
I was, oh my goodness, I have so much I'm doing. And you're there for 4 hours in the office. You're like, I answered 3 emails. Yep. It's like, that's not, like, actually I'd be better off working 2 hours a day of intentional work instead of just being like, well, I guess I'm going to have another 12-hour day. I think that's the issue with time. When you're just like, I'm going to work 8 hours today, it's easy to
make that feel
epic. Like extend your work to fit that.
It's like a muscle though you work out though, because you have kids, I have kids. My daughter cracks me up and she'll say something like, I'm just so busy, Dad. I'm like, I'm so busy. And she's like, school, I have homework now. I got to practice piano. But and it's easy to be like, okay.
Yeah.
But at her level,
that
has stretched her to, I don't get to play outside as much as I want to, or do the things I want because I have to do these things. And I've learned also just that grind of like my CMs feel overwhelmed at times. And the reality, this is not a knock on them, but I'm 10xing the work that you do.
Yep.
But hey, that's my responsibility. But it took time to get to where I am.
Yep.
And I was that CM at one point where I was like, I don't know how I'm going to handle my 3 clients. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, it's a muscle you flex. And that you made a really good point. Love Gary Vee, hate Gary Vee. I don't really care, but he made an excellent point on one of his speeches. And it wasn't about garage sailing. It was actually,
hey, just get Facebook Marketplace. Just buy the couch, sell it for 1,000% markup.
And then I would, make an NFT of every garage sale item anyway.
I just don't know why people don't do this.
Yeah, why? Like, I could be a millionaire tomorrow.
Tomorrow.
Garage sailing.
And
I just don't know why people don't even do this.
I would go to Detroit. I'd buy the $5,000 house, sell it for $500,000.
I would actually just buy all the houses garage sailing.
Just easy. And I'd look at them. I'd say, I'll give you 2 pennies.
I'll buy this house for, you want $200,000? I'll give you $20 or I'll kill you.
Right. And then I'll own the jets.
Yes. Love you, Gary. Love Gary.
I actually listen. Gary Vee is got some good stuff.
I love Gary.
It's just funny.
That's his random side thing that he just loves.
Make sure we collab with him on that.
I will. He'd probably think it's funny. But anyway, he gave really good advice. Somebody in the audience on one of his talks said, "I can't seem to get my employees to work as hard as me." Right? Like I can't seem to I feel like I'm up here and they're up here, and Gary's like,
right.
They never will. You own the company.
Right.
If you expect that your employees are going to care as much as you, work as hard as you,
that's a fool's
sacrifice
game.
as much as you, then you are screwed up in the head.
Yeah.
Like how I just made that pivot there.
Yeah,
You are screwed up.
I don't think he said screwed.
Gary didn't. I was quoting him, and I had to make a U-turn real quick. Because you shouldn't expect them to because you have equity.
Right.
When you sell the company for $20 million,
they ain't getting
the $20 million.
Right.
So it's actually a fool's errand to expect your employees to be like, well, I'm up here. I'm trying to get no. You're just trying to make them the best versions of themselves they can be within the parameters of the job they were hired to do.
Right.
Full stop.
I 100% agree. And
any other expectation is unfair.
It's
and you're just going to be frustrated as a business owner.
By the way, that's an agency mentality. That's what Astra were trying to change is, listen, there's been times where my employees have gone over and beyond, and I can't thank them enough for that. But agencies are called churn and burn companies, right? You get someone in, they want a chance at the glam. Oh, we're working with our Kardashian. Wow, this is amazing. And they work 16-hour days, but they are not making any more than what their salary is. They don't have equity in the company, and agencies are used to churning and burning. That's why I have the core value, great work consistently, and I say, show up, show out, go home.
Yep.
That is the principle. That's it. I'll work on the weekend.
Yep.
I will, and I do. I will. I mean, I am always on. But like you said, this is my company, so I'll freaking do it.
Yep.
I don't need you to.
And you shouldn't get mad at
them clocking out and existing.
Yeah, doing their job. Right. And so now you can get frustrated if they're not working during their 8 hours, and that's another whole conversation.
I've had that.
Yeah. Really? So anyway,
they're no longer with us. Don't go to your workout class at 4:30. Don't do it.
I know.
I'll never forget it.
Yeah, there's been moments where I'm like, but it's only 3 o'clock. What? Anyway.
It's good. Listen,
But again, it's communicating. And
at
it's
least
being
you
clear.
were honest.
Yep.
Too honest.
Well, the issue is I'm not honest. I just kind of bottle it up and don't say anything. I'm working on it. So let's talk about YouTube.
Yeah.
Now that we've given,
I like YouTube.
I want to give everyone our story, how kind of we connected, the businesses that we're running. Trevor's company is, the YouTube agency in the world, in my opinion.
Agree. Yes.
And my company is going to be the B2B podcast company in the world.
Right.
We're on our way.
We're
the fastest growing B2B podcast agency in Michigan.
Oh, easily.
We are probably the fastest growing podcast agency in the Northeast. And I want to go international. I want to be like,
all right.
People
I've
are
always
like,
wanted
what's
that
your
in a Japanese podcast.
And Tokyo. Namaste.
Namaste in my bed. My wife always says that's the dumbest joke. I'm like Candy, love her.
Yeah.
She's not like a comedian.
Right.
She's fun and fun to be around. She's fine. She's funny-ish. She's not got one-liners.
Candy is like that Southern sweetheart.
Yes. Yep. But one day
makes really good bread.
It's the best bread. Yeah. But like one day, anyway, long story short, she one day came down and was like, I want to namaste because Meta had gotten a Japanese book out of the library. And she was like, I want to namaste in my bed. I looked at her, I was like, who are you? Like, what? And Candy, it was like delivered in the most like, namaste in my bed. And I just like looked over, I was like, what is happening right now? Did you do an edible? Like,
yeah, right. Like, namaste. Anyway, so you guys are doing incredible stuff. You guys are the premier YouTube agency in the world.
Right.
Working with some of the biggest brands. I get this all the time. I know you hear this too. People tell me all the time, oh, podcasting is overpenetrated. It's dead. Podcasting is dead. And then you also hear, oh, YouTube's dead. Right? It's like, okay.
Okay.
I remember growing up, and I say this all the time, when I was in high school, I used to hear all the time that YouTube was overpenetrated. When I was in high school. Yep. But I'm like, teachers, oh, that's not a viable career path. Right. YouTube, it's already, it's as big as it's going to get. As big as it's going to get. This is before even Google bought it, right? It was like its own company, right? It's not, don't make videos, don't make content. It's not, and then that was before Mr. Beast even started making videos, right? And then #1 YouTuber. Where is YouTube at right now in the scope of like priority of, if you look at like media companies, if you look at social media landscape,
right?
Where does YouTube fit in priority?
Yeah. So it's the digital cornerstone of media. If you're not on YouTube, it's some capacity. Now, there's a lot of caveats of strategy, reason, like we can go down that road. If YouTube is not part of your business, your personal brand, you as a celebrity, it is crazy. It's a fool's errand to not be there. Now, it's not easy, but it is the digital. It's the #1 TV streaming app. It's more than Disney Plus, more than that. A TV streaming app, right? Connected TVs, which I've talked about it for a long time. Fastest growing device on YouTube. They've made the most innovation to the connected TVs, so the TV in your living room, innovation to that UI experience in the last 2 years of anything else they've done. It is where, by the way, where you make the most money if you're on the connected TV, and people are watching longer than ever, right? The sweet spot for content that performs well on YouTube right now is either 15 to 25 minutes, right? Shout out to 1 of 10 that did this study. This is not my stats, it's theirs. And hour plus, right? So the whole mini clip kind of era is kind of dying out. It doesn't mean you don't do that ever. It's just those aren't really going to go viral. And then even in that 30 to 50 minutes, you have to have a real banger piece of content because it's not the sweet spot any further. Anyway, long story short, YouTube is the cornerstone of digital media. It's not going anywhere. It is eating up the market share of others, right? Twitch, it's eating into with its live stream innovation. It is, I mean, already YouTube TV is a massive app, but the YouTube app is outperforming every other digital streaming app. By the way, not paid by YouTube. We're great friends. We have a great partnership with them. This is just actual stats.
How important is it also because YouTube is in the Google ecosystem, right? Because Google bought you. Does that matter in the scope of things?
It is the second largest search engine outside of Google, right? And they work in tandem with each other. And then obviously when you start thinking about the AEO of it all, right? Gemini is a huge, and it's going to obviously pull from its YouTube index, but so does ChatGPT, so does Claude. So YouTube is one of the most it's the first video engine that is crawled for serving a result in AI prompts than anything else. Like you ain't getting it from Vimeo. Yeah. It's not coming from Kick, guys.
Or even Instagram.
Twitch. It's not pulling from Instagram.
I just saw something. I was researching AO yesterday, and Reddit's the #1 thing that chat pulls information from, which is scary. Yeah. Like just like not video, just like when it cross-references something, Reddit, it was like 40%. Like it was like massively, it was Reddit. Right. And then YouTube is #2 as far as like what AEO searches to get the source for their information. Yeah. But I thought it was really weird that Reddit was #1. That was a very interesting study.
Reddit's actually incredibly powerful.
It's massive.
Platform.
It's also way more massive than I thought it was.
Yes. Yeah. I've actually been trying to learn a lot more because I think there's actually a lot of audience and community learnings there that can help drive content and concepts, but that's not, but yeah, I mean, I obviously am a big believer in YouTube, but like, and they're innovating. It's wild. I hear this, like it's saturated. I'm like, well, yeah, listen, there is some areas that like, if you want to start a gaming channel tomorrow, it's going to be hard. Yeah. Like that's just true.
Yep.
It's not an easy venture. At the same time, like they have innovated the platform. I mean, they released 30 plus new updates last year. That, and I don't even get me started, but there's some things they've rolled out that like it's completely changed the game for my clients. There's one feature in particular that I'm like, this is the money that they're about to make is unreal with what they just did and added. So I don't know, man. It's hard because people don't see it, but the stats will support. I mean, it is the number one way that people make decisions in their purchases is they go look for video content. Is how they will quicker go to a social platform to learn about a business and they will the actual website. Awareness.
Well, let's talk about that for a second. So I talk about that. I talk about that a lot in strategy sessions. So when we think of like the updated marketing funnel, we used to be like website would be where people would go. So it'd be like Google search to website, or maybe like a landing page that would then take you to a website that would then get you to sign a form that would then get you to, have some sort of call or whatever.
Right.
Now everything starts, top of funnel starts at socials. Like people start learning about things on socials.
Right.
Then it goes, even if you do like a Meta ad or a YouTube ad or a TikTok ad, I don't care where you do the ad, but you have no organic content on that same social platform the ad was seen, because what happens is they see ad, and even if they click the ad and it takes them to they're gonna go like, let me go back to this profile. They're gonna look at the profile,
right,
and then they're gonna be like, oh, this profile is one ad that this is not even real.
All it is ads.
Yes, and they're like, this doesn't seem like a real account. But when you don't have organic top of funnel content and you do ads on Meta, you're missing out on that initial credibility piece.
Yes.
So then you ad, then profile, then landing page, then website.
Yep.
But like you said, like my wife goes to Instagram to search for restaurants.
Yep.
Not Google. Not even like she'll go to like Instagram and be like best Detroit whatever.
Right.
And then watch the videos on Instagram.
Right.
And if you don't have that presence, sorry, I'm just very passionate. Like, because people a lot of times do ads and then they have no organic. They're like, why is organic content important? I'm like, because if I'm doing ads, it's like, what's the credibility?
Yes.
To show you're a real person.
Because everyone's doing ads, so someone's probably got a bigger ad budget than you.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
That's like, you're going to get, I've had that where we do tons of paid media, but it's like, you have to have something for them to come to. And by the way, this is where it all goes to like, why are you doing the YouTube in the first place? Because if you're thinking, oh, I want to be a popular YouTube channel, like, hey, lawn care company, probably not.
Yeah.
Maybe with your time lapses, but probably not.
Yeah.
But that doesn't mean you don't do it. Right. Like the goal is not just like, oh, gold plaques, I have 1 million subscribers. Listen, if that happens, fantastic. Awesome. But for especially what you do, like, hey, business, I'm just gonna let you know right now, HVAC company with the YouTube, HVAC company without it, as if the service is comparable, because service quality can be the differentiator there. The one with the content is going to beat you out. Maybe not today, maybe not tomorrow, but in 5 years, you're going to be like, oh, shoot, we really should have been doing something about that.
Yep.
But I think a lot of people do a poor job explaining that, like, yes, when I work with a celebrity, we're going to try to make it a big YouTube channel because that's what they want. When I work with a brand, it's like the reason people align with brands is the content that you have. And so if all of it ever is advertisements, well, if you're Nike, that'll probably work. But if you're, I'm the new shoe company, you're not going to beat Nike's ad paid media, no shot. So you're going to have to do something else.
Yep. And on top of that, I think people all the time think the barrier to, like, you have to have like a professional video shoot to make content. Like, I have to spend 30 grand on this commercial to have content. It's like, no. Like, starting off, writing down your goal, write down like, what are we trying to achieve?
Right.
And work backwards from there.
Yep.
And it's a lot of times a way lower barrier of entry than people think.
Yeah.
Because there's so many different ways you can make content.
Right.
What has been in your journey as you've worked with crazy names? What has been one of the most surreal moments for you so far as, like, I was editing videos for like $20 a video or whatever with roaches in our apartment, right? In New York, back to Michigan, like the journey that took, what was one of the most like holy crap for you?
I would probably a recent one. It's not even the biggest thing we've done. Was I flew out to Oakland and shot a show. Like I was a creative producer. I was the YouTube creative producer on set for Marshawn Lynch's new show, which is coming out here in a Q4. I just time-stamped this episode. And I was obviously a big NFL fan. I would watch Seattle Seahawks games just to watch Marshawn Lynch play, right? Beast mode. And to be there with him, with talent, on set, part of the directing, part of the ideation, part of the scripting. I was like, oh, wow. This was like when Trevor was young, because I've always loved I was never going to go Hollywood, but I loved the media industry, the film industry. I love these things. And I was like, I finally have gotten to a place where I'm like, this is happening. And what was wild was like, I was there on set while coordinating on my phone multiple other shoots that we were doing. I was like, dang, we actually have done something. Yeah, it was a great moment. And you take it and say, that's a huge win. And it's opened a ton of doors. And we're actually working with that production team now on like 5 new shows.
That's crazy.
And I'm like shows. Like I'm part of shows now. Like this isn't just I post your video on YouTube anymore. It's I'm part of your scripting. I'm part of your strategy. I'm part of the type of content you're doing. I have worked with Omaha studios on new show concepts. Like this is wild. So I'm very thankful for those moments. And yeah, I don't know what else to say outside of like so great, it was a moment of like, this is pretty cool.
Yeah, because it's one thing when you work and you do Zoom calls with team, and then when you're actually there, it becomes so much more real. Dude, I was so hyped for you. Mad I couldn't go. Slightly salty.
I tried to get you out there. I really did.
Next time.
It was a tight set though. I'll be honest. It was we did it in a local, his auntie's restaurant.
Oh, cool.
Super cool. But it was kind of like,
yeah, dude, that's awesome. Yeah. Those are the moments that kind of just keep you ticking. You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah, like
YouTube's going to be showing. So there's 4 that we have worked on that are being like they are part of the main sizzle at YouTube's brand upfront, which is the big event in New York where they have all these brands coming that want to sponsor these productions. We have done 4 of them.
Wow.
That's crazy.
That's
I'm like, we've been in business for 3 years. 4 of the my former agency, they weren't there at all.
Shout out. Dude, that's so great. Like I watch you work and you're an well, first of all, I want to hire you, but just kidding. Can't afford you, but if I could. But I've seen the progression, and it's like I know that, God is good and God gives us grace, but I also feel like you've also put the work in to give you the best chance for this to happen. So, dude, I'm excited for you. I'm excited for what's next in your story. It's kind of scary to think about, like, if this is what happened in 2 years for us knowing each other.
We know we just talked about off camera.
Yeah.
So it's like,
that would be sick.
There's a whole other ball game.
And who knows? Maybe 313 and Astra. There's some parodies.
We're trying to make some connections.
We got to figure this out.
It's going to be interesting to certain clients. So
yeah, it's kind of cool watching the camera switch. That's why I said on this, because I didn't want it to be distracting. And it's for those that don't know, we have an off-site TV over there that auto switches.
Hello.
Oh, white shot. Yeah. Now you're back. Yeah. So, dude, this is fun. Thank you for coming on the show. I kind of
already fill our time. Dang, it's 10:47.
Yeah.
We didn't even talk about anything.
Oh, so I was like, we're just gonna have to do round 2. I thought today would be a good what's the story?
Yep.
What right now in the YouTube space gets you excited? Like, what makes you
dynamic brand insertion?
Dynamic brand insertion.
Dynamic brand insertion. So, you've watched a video where this video is brought to you by Fiverr, blah, and they do some kind of what a quippy thing, and they burn into their video, and unless you trim it out later on, because there's an editor on the back end of YouTube, it's kind of there forever.
Yeah.
And some people, because of their brand deals, they weave it into the narrative. You've even seen Mr. Beast do this. And it kind of ruins the video because you usually have that brand deal forever. It's usually just for that time. But that's a lot of the way how these YouTubers make livable money, because it's rare to live solely off your AdSense. And what's really sucks though is that some creators get really big, and a lot of their old content does well.
But there's no money.
There's no money to
contract was just for a one.
Well, that or they weren't the size to get a brand deal at that point, right? So I have a creator right now who has a series that just does game-buster numbers year over year, but like she didn't do brand deals on them. Well, then a brand insertion allows you to treat it as a living catalog that you can sell over and over and over again. So, for example, hey, I have this 8-episode series, Mr. Dillon, 313 Media. It averages 300 to 500,000 views month over month. For Q2, I will dynamically insert an ad. Since my AVD is at 13 minutes, average view duration, I'll put a dynamic brand insertion at 8 minutes. So you basically guaranteed my entire audience who's watching that content, the people watching my content are going to see that dynamic brand insertion. And I'll let you have it from all of Q2 because you can set flights now too. It doesn't have to be there forever. And it'll cost you this much money.
That's awesome.
Amazing. Because then all of a sudden...
Well, it makes your whole library of videos monetizable.
Right. So, and then moving
in a way
forward,
they weren't before.
It's twofold. So it's back catalog you can totally sell all of a sudden, which is massive. And by the way, you can go tier. So you have your A-list brands that always want to get that first exclusivity window. Then you go to B brand, C brand, D brand. So if I'm a start water bottle company, right, and I'm like, I don't have a ton of money, but I know how this market kind of works. I know who the person's saying. They have something that I can like, hey, for 10 grand, I get this for a whole quarter, and it's basically this amount of viewership. That's amazing, right? But then moving forward, you no longer have to bake it into your videos. This is twofold beneficial for your business down the road, by the way. Is one, no longer make your video awkward, have it in. You can insert it in. It's for a limited amount of time. You can take it out. But two, a lot of podcasts do audio reads, but they don't necessarily have a visual, like they do it off camera. You can insert it now instead of bake it because it is the worst retention part of your video. You'll see your retention sure you have this massive valley. That's where you had your ads. Now you can plot them in. And then even episode, like I think about some of our talent, they have episodes that get hundreds of thousands of views, if not million views, month over month. Like they have some massive podcast episodes. They can keep selling that ad spot over and over and over again.
That's crazy.
Money in the pocket for brands and careers unlike ever before.
Yeah.
Unlike ever before. I feel like Donald Trump going, it's going to be huge. It's going to be huge. But it's for me the most exciting YouTube update in recent history.
Is it clunky?
Well, it's in beta. I am one of the few agencies that have access to it early, and it's fairly functional at the point. Nice. It's typical YouTube. They release something, they're gonna improve it.
Yeah.
So immediately it's gonna probably be a little wonko, but moving forward, it is it's one of the reasons I'm also kind of like, if you are able to monetize your channel, because where I'm very curious is that is it only YPP, this is YouTube Partner Program, those are those who are monetized channels, or could someone like a local business have access to a dynamic brand insertion and be able to sell brand slots even if they are not monetized on YouTube? My brain is telling me maybe because the money would be dealt with off camera, right? It's not running through YouTube AdSense
at all.
So
even in the podcast, the B2B podcast space, it's like, hey, like even if you have 300 views a podcast,
right,
and you want to sell for $100,
right, but it's hyper localized focus, right, can be super valuable.
Right, that could be.
And you're telling me, like, listen, you'll blow $5,000 of paid ad spend on the whatever target you're able to come up with, or you can say, I know that audience is my audience. I know that's where I want my stuff. I can't guarantee. Like you can target channels on YouTube, paid advertising, but it's a lot of money. Or I can make a specific brand deal and guarantee it.
Yes.
That's huge.
Well, it's I think also big for the small creators, equally as big as the big creators. Like it levels the playing field a little bit on opportunity to get paid something outside of ad spend,
right?
Or ad revenue. Like AdSense is pennies.
Yeah,
until
you have to be in a really lucrative niche, and the volume that you need to make money that's going to be livable is significant.
It's wild.
So and a lot of people don't understand that because I mean, like,
well, they think the goal is monetization, which my show's monetized is great. Right. It's awesome.
It's great,
but it's
cool. I made $50.
Yeah, right.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, it just it's a lot of people like to make it a livable wage on YouTube is usually takes 3 years post monetization. It's so because you see these people and you're like, oh, I could be that. It's like, no, the average person. That's why you got to figure out how to monetize community in other ways than just the AdSense, which is where brand deals, memberships, the localized events, IRL, those types of things. That's
exclusive content, whatever.
Right, yeah. That's the stuff that can make it a livable wage quicker, strictly through AdSense. You're looking at about 3 years.
Wow.
And that is if you continue to innovate and grow. I'm working with channels right now where they are been on a downward trend for 2 years. They're not changing anything about themselves, and they're like, I don't understand why we're making less money. I'm like, well, you're ignoring numbers. You're not willing to be flexible here. So
that's really cool.
It is cool.
What else going on in the YouTube space right now that you are passionate about?
There's like a couple buckets. There's things that I'm like disinterested about, and then there's things that I'm passionate about. So I love live streaming. I think Alex Hormozy made a video today that he's like going all in on live streaming. It's a tough venture, but they are making innovations there where like YouTube, I always believe, was the premier place to be live streaming. If you're a Twitch streamer, I get that's a little bit of a different dynamic. At the very minimum, if you're a Twitch streamer listening to this, if you're not putting your archive on YouTube, you're an idiot. It's just asinine and stupid. Like, put the full and then have it cut down if you're playing multiple games. Like, just come on, man. But they're making innovations there, the ways to make money there, the way that they now have like split view ads, so you're not actually being taken out of the live stream experience. You can still watch the live stream while the ad's playing on the side. They have ways for live streamers, if they're having like a real intense moment with a boss, they can delay ads so you're not taken out of the moment. Super thanks, all these channel membership stuff, the way that you're it's becoming more Twitch-esque. Mm-hmm. So I get excited about that because I think live streaming, especially for shows and POV content, can be a really strong platform. It's still relatively not been conquered. A lot of people think it maybe is saturated. It's not.
What are your thoughts on live streaming pre-recorded content?
So we do it a lot. We have a cloud server that we do a lot of live stream pre-recorded content. It is only beneficial if you're going to be in the chat interacting. That's my 2 cents. Because people know because one of the beauties of it being live is that interaction. You can see the chat going on. We might, we had a couple moments where like, we're probably cutting that out, live stream, it's all there.
Right.
So if you do pre-recorded, you need to make the experience of watching it live. Because then at that point, why are you not just premiering it on YouTube? It's kind of the same experience with the live chat. Live stream and pre-recorded asset isn't super bad. Now 24/7 live streams can be, but I would say there's a very small use case there.
One of the potential partners that we're working with is all in on live, and they're all in on podcast live, like live podcasts.
Yeah.
So maybe you could help buy me into this, right? I'm not bought in because in my world, I'm bought into the algorithmic. Like, I get how you could build a live show, whatever. Most business owners will not feel comfortable going on a live 100%. Show. The thing that it's already a big enough jump to ask them to talk about themselves. And the way that we get them on a lot of our client shows is, hey, we have edits. If there's anything you say that you don't want to be seen, or there's anything that can get you in trouble legal, like brand issues, all that kind of stuff, right? Like, we can edit it out.
Right.
The issue I have with live podcasting is it's out there.
Yep.
But I also know people like Alex and big time creators are going all into live. So what I'm trying to figure out is, how do we incorporate live into our strategy, or better yet, should we incorporate live into our strategy? And if so, is it just we start setting up 24-hour live podcast loops of playlists, so that way when people watch a short, it shows live, they click on the channel, and maybe that is a little bit of a boost, but like...
So I'll give you the one lane that I think for podcast live streaming is valuable, but I would argue that all the creators that talk about them going live is going to be a POV show.
Right.
Or it's going to be it's not going to be a podcast. It would be very rare this, but like maybe a talk show that has podcast elements, but it's not going to be
an interview show.
Like this would suck as a live stream, quite frankly.
Unless we had a bunch of chat Q&A built in,
and part of the show is no longer the interview, it's us interacting with the chat, answering the live Q&A questions, those type of things. But like, honestly, like a post show is much more valuable with channel memberships and pre-curated questions than even a live chat.
Right.
Where I have seen businesses, because we have a couple business podcasts at our portfolio, Astra, where it's been beneficial with the 24/7 live stream, is, hey, you have a local office and you want to show off what you've been doing content-wise. Well, when you're playing the YouTube video, you run out of the playlist, it's going to go to a random Mr. Beast video, right? What you can do is you can set up a 24/7 live stream and it just loops your podcast. Oh, have you thought about putting ads in between for people? Like, hey, we have a podcast that shows at our law firm, for example. It plays constantly, but we can put interstitials in between of like this dentist office that's nearby or a coffee shop. Would you like to be on that? Because we have a lot of high profile people that walk through. That's where it gets interesting, because that's actually the only use case. I would never do a live podcast. I'd do a 24/7 live stream of looping podcasts,
right?
Localized to the business.
Yeah.
And then they could even sell that as a potential upsell. Or if not, it still looks cool to have your content looping on a screen. They don't have to make a massive asset. I have a great cloud server where you can
like, would you recommend us like taking all of the podcasts in our network, create a 313 Media channel that then has a playlist of all the podcasts that have been recorded here?
In the office here.
Yeah, and because how we have
yes,
that
I would
room.
do it that way. Yes,
and
so I was actually going to recommend it when we were talking.
It's live on YouTube, so instead of just having a playlist play through, we would then set up as a live.
Yep.
So there might be a little bit of an algorithmic boost.
Yeah, I mean, you get preferential placement with 24/7 live stream.
Would you have that be baked through my channel or create a separate channel?
That'd be ultimately up to you. Creating a separate channel, you're not going to make any money on it. It's going to be small. I mean, the reality of business YouTube channels, they don't tend to grow very big.
Yeah.
They can, but they don't tend to. But I would probably just do it through your channel if you're comfortable with that.
Yeah, sure.
Because if you're directly tying yourself to your brand your company, then you could, in theory, make some money. But it's a great waiting room experience. Yeah. Honestly, having your stuff always playing.
And what would be the reason to do that instead of just a looping playlist?
It's hard to do a looping playlist.
Is it? Okay.
On YouTube and not have it go to something else.
After that, that's what you got it. That makes sense.
Yep.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm.
And even with the Q&A, I think there's ways that you can get pre-questions and still create that experience for your listeners.
Yeah, I just think there's also live streams come with kerfuffles. Like, it's just, I've ran a lot of them. There's just things that happen and you don't know why.
Yep.
Like
so many more variables.
Right.
Yeah.
It's like, this is in a controlled environment. I mean, even someone runs in this door right now. Like, there's there's just things that like.
Right. I fart.
Right.
Can't edit that out.
You say something about a client that you don't need to be saying out loud.
Right.
I
was good earlier. I didn't say anything.
Oh, that's not true. You said one thing that cannot be in there.
Oh, yeah. We'll take that out. Yeah, we'll make notes of that. But that was about your client, not my client. So
right.
That's fine.
Yeah. Well, it's not.
Yeah. So we'll make sure to take that.
Big
out.
contract with them right now. So
yeah, we won't do that. Dude, so that's helpful. If somebody, last question, and then we'll kind of wrap up. If you're a business, any business, B2B, B2C, they're looking to get started in YouTube. Yes. What's the first step?
Well, you're going to want to lay out, what are you trying to accomplish with your YouTube? Because you need to set real expectations. This is with any business, if you're listening. You are not going to be popular. Okay?
Gasp.
Your podcast, your mom's going to listen. That doesn't mean you don't do it, and it doesn't mean it can't grow, but like, you ain't going ghost hunting, okay? You're not making the world's biggest hamburger. So, therefore and furthermore, it's going to take a hot second, especially if you're like a labeling company, okay? Mm-hmm. A restaurant's a better chance of growing than you do. You're boring.
Yeah.
Now, I have many businesses that they're like, the whole point of this is for you to fall in love with who we are and the product or the stuff or the service we offer. And I've seen, by the way, there's a board game company that I love, Wormwood, that did this. And you kind of these employees become characters, become people that you kind of like. And you're like, when I buy product from them, like those are the people I watch on YouTube, right? And by the way, they're not making these crazy videos. It's literally them doinking around the warehouse and talking about new product that they're excited about, pretty much, and like showing how kind of things get fabricated and made. And it started off and it was slow, but it's only like a 20,000 something subscriber channel, but it's been massive for their brand.
Yeah.
So for me, when you're starting it, it's like, hey, reality check. If you think you're going to be popular, you won't. You're not different than anybody else. It ain't going to be popular. Stop it. Stop. It's stupid. That's why don't blow your paid media on doing it. But the goal is, hey, we have a really great team here. We make some really great product. We have the attention to detail, the service. We're going to pot out all of these, I would say, in the strategy. And this is one of the things you offer. What are the things that make us so special? Piece of content, piece of content, piece of content, piece of content, piece of content. Right? Be okay to have the camera on and show the word. If you're proud of your culture, show it. And then if you're not proud of your culture, you won't show it. Right? Because some people also think it just has to be a podcast, which is a great way to start. Great way to get, relationships, client referrals, etc. But you can also just press record and have someone walking around with a camera. Yeah. Talk about what you're doing. And no, your first video is going to get 10 views. Yep. That's okay. Because the way you're going to be able to use that moving forward is going to massively increase the reach of your brand. It's going to help your indexing on Google. And so I think just setting proper expectations, say, hey, this is content for the long haul. I hate this from MBAs. You're going to have this in what's the ROI? You know what the ROI is? Is that 3 years down the road, you're going to be thanking yourself that you had content because you're going to realize that 3 years down the road, you're like, we didn't. And the company, our competitor, is kicking our butts. That's the ROI, Mr. I have an MBA too. That's the ROI. Stop talking about how we're going to make our $50,000 investment, $100,000 investment back.
And especially a lot of times we hear ROIs like, how am I going to make it in 3 months? It's like, you're not.
You're not.
But, I mean, you might. You could get lucky that someone sees.
Could get lucky.
Yeah. But I think that's a really good point is it's a long-term game. Right. And you are basically just creating a feed system for SEO, AEO, all connection. People, again, we already talked, the eyes are on socials. Yes. And if you make a YouTube video, perfect, clip it up, throw it on socials. You can do different things with that even. You can clip up vlogs. Right. I can
give you one more tip, friends of the business world. Make it for freaking YouTube. Make it for YouTube. Stop overproducing your videos. This is for all those big brands out there. Have a mom use your KitchenAid. Don't have this over stylized, ridiculous. It doesn't feel authentic. Don't over your vacuum something. Don't show me these glam shots of your hose. Who cares? We spent $30,000. No, have someone grab the Sony, vacuum something this is pretty neat how it turns. Go on the street for Pete's sake and say, hey, we've put a rug. There's crap on it. You want to try our vacuum? Done. That's a much better cheaper use of your time because it's made for YouTube. It's going to bring you value to the end, but you guys are so stuck in traditional media. I know big production budgets. It doesn't move the needle. And they're going to throw another $200,000 to get that thing seen by someone from India. Congrats.
Are you passionate about this?
Nothing. I don't care about it at all, actually.
There's no passion in your voice.
I'm just saying, we're humans.
Yeah. Well, I think it's not even create it for YouTube. It's just create it for people that you want seeing it.
That's probably even a better way to say it. It's create for people.
Here's what you mean by that. Right. Is, obviously make it with YouTube as the main destination, but who do you want watching it? And imagine you send them this video, right? And is it going to move the needle?
And some businesses are doing. You'll see it on Instagram. You'll think you're watching a reel. You're like, wait, this is an ad. Yes. Right. And I don't know if I love that, but it does a better job than look at this sweet vacuum. Yeah. Blah, 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 blah. Come on.
One of my favorite. I get annoyed because it gets sucked in every time, but it works. Is when it's the International Space Station is moving at blah 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 blah, and then a paint fleck could put a hole through an astronaut. And it shows an astronaut falling. The astronaut will fall, and they'll probably burn through the atmosphere, and they'll end up in Ling's Hot Kitchen, and it transitions into an ad. And I'm honestly, you got me.
Yeah, you got me to watch it at least, and I'm aware of you. Yeah. And I will say, there's kind of a surge of the trendy to give awareness to your business. I would say use that in a balance, because I have people who all they do is they see a trend, the ChatGPT, you need more work experience, and they go and they're making a deal with Noah from Noah's Ark and Jesus. Okay, it's funny. Don't get me wrong, it's funny, but that is remember, vertical content, by the way, is a additive to the core content. Yep. The core content that if you actually lay out what's valuable about you and your culture, that is going to pay. But it's harder. It's going to cost you more money. But that's going to pay your dividends than you dancing to a Taylor Swift song. Okay? Doesn't mean you don't do it. But the problem is I have people only doing it, and they gain some followership, and they're like, success, we have more numbers.
But it's just vanity metrics.
It's just vanity. I'm like, did you get more sales? No.
Well, I tell that to people all the time. I just had an Instagram reel get like 3 million views a couple weeks ago, right?
Soft flex.
It's fine. Former Green Beret on the show. It's whatever. But it's great. It was awesome. I was like, cool. I've made no money off of it.
Right.
Like, it's a cool thing when it comes to like credibility, getting followers or whatever, but like it didn't move the needle in my business at all compared to the 30 viewed episode that I built a relationship with this person and now they're a client, and that paid us way more.
Can give you a nugget of wisdom for anybody listening. Just one nugget. This is because I've worked on every social platform: Snapchat, Twitter, or X, now X, Instagram, Facebook. Okay. TikTok. There is going to be examples of someone making an exorbitant amount of money on any of those platforms. There's not a more monetizable value-add platform than YouTube, period. There will always be someone who, like, there will always be the kick, oh, they made $250 million, great. Yep, they made their money. Snapchat, I've seen people make stupid money on Snapchat. The overwhelming consensus, the most monetizable value-add platform is YouTube. No questions asked. This is not a paid ad.
So YouTube sponsor me.
If you're trying to become some influencer, like TikTok, I mean, bro, I've worked with a person with 50 million followers on TikTok. They're not even clearing 6 figures. Okay?
So I need 51 million.
That's it.
That's the takeaway. That was the nugget.
So it's just, I don't want to bury the lead here. If be on YouTube.
That's the takeaway.
That's it.
Call to action for the audience.
Be on YouTube.
If you're not making content,
you're not going to
for
Dillon,
YouTube. Yep. If you're not a client,
not sign up to get on YouTube.
Yep.
You are full. You're full.
Maybe we need to create like a. Never mind. We'll talk about this later.
Click my referral link here.
Yeah. Right.
For Dillon Ingram 313 Media. So
we'll pay you. Well, bro, this has been fun. I didn't really know what we were gonna do today, but I knew it was gonna be epic.
It's easy,
which is awesome. Yeah.
It flew by.
Like that. I always leave my guests with an opportunity to promo themselves. Where can we find you? Where can we learn more? What can we learn more about your company, who you are, all stuff?
You can find me on LinkedIn. I post rants about things. No, but seriously, I'm on LinkedIn. It's probably the best way to connect with me. I don't really do much socially outside of that. I do have YouTube, but that's like once a quarter because we're busy. Astra Media, honestly, we have a LinkedIn page. Reach out there. We're still working on the website because honestly, we've done so much work that rarely have we done any marketing. We actually have done no marketing. So if you are listening to this and you are a business, you're probably best served going to Dillon. But if you're a celebrity, creator, big brand, like I would argue, you're making multi-million dollars. Astra is a great place to look at for, we custom tailor everything to your need. It's not like a stock offering. It's like, what do you need? We have the team for it. We do everything from production all the way to getting it out on social. So give it a go. We're the best. I don't know what else to say. There's a lot of, I would say, the last promo, and as I don't like talking about myself too much, so the last promo, I promise, is that.
Promo away, baby.
There's a difference between people who are really good at YouTube and people who understand what you need to get out of YouTube, okay? There's always a Mr. Beast idea. There's always someone who's, they flex. So we have people who work for Mr. Beast for 3 months, like, I work with Mr. Beast, therefore I know everything about, no. You need someone who understands that if you're a financial firm, the way you're gonna go about YouTube is gonna be different than my chef, okay? That's where Astra Media thrives. It's like, we are not just like, oh, well, go do this and blow up a car, it'll be crazy, bro. No. We're gonna be like, no, what's the best for you? And that's gonna provide you the lasting value. That's how we work. We're not just, we're gonna make everyone have the YouTube thumbnail look like this. So that's my rant, because
you should have a chef blow up a car, then cook the meal on the blown up car.
There's a lot of great people who are very smart on YouTube, but there's many who are smart on YouTube but are not smart working with brands and other types of folks. So.
Well, you heard him. If I would, Trevor's a great follow on LinkedIn. Please follow Trevor and like, comment, subscribe on this podcast. Share it with your mom, your friend, your business partner.
Right.
Listen to it in the car when you're mowing.
Right. All the way through.
When you're swimming, the whole thing 5 times in slow-mo.
Right. So, actually doesn't increase your ABD.
What'd you say?
It doesn't increase your ABD if you slow it down.
No, I just wanted them to make sure they didn't miss anything.
Yeah.
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 Just really,
Slow down.
really sink it in. Dude, thank you for coming to the show. Thank you
problem.
for being one of the first guests in the new studio.
So nice.
Hopefully it was a great experience for you, and hopefully it was a great experience for you. You're going to have a lot more content coming out of the studio. And we'll see you guys in the next episode. Peace.